Hello everyone, I am Dr. Arun Sharma. In this video, I will explain the Bohr's atomic model for hydrogen atom and its limitations. Niels Bohr in 1913 was the first to explain quantitatively the general features of the structure of hydrogen atom and its spectrum. He used Planck's concept of quantization of energy. This theory that was given by Bohr still be used to rationalize many points in the atomic structure and spectra. Bohr's model for hydrogen atom is based on the following postulates which are described in this video. As we know that the electron in the hydrogen atom can move around the nucleus in a circular path of fixed radius and energy. These paths are called orbits. Stationary states or allowed energy states, these orbits are arranged concentrically around the nucleus. So here in this video you can see that there are 4 energy levels are shown around the nucleus and the nucleus is positively charged. These energy levels are named as K series, L series, M and N, KLMN. For K, it is represented by the green color and this is the first level. For the second orbit, it is L shell and it is represented by the blue color. From black color, M shell is represented and its position from the nucleus is third, and at the fourth position it is shown by the pink color, that is N shell, and its number is 4. So these are the stationary states which are concentrically arranged around the nucleus, named as K shell, L shell, M shell and N shell. And K shell is near to the nucleus and N shell is far away from the nucleus. So these are the names of the shells. The electron will move from a lower stationary state to higher energy state when required amount of energy is absorbed by the electron. So when the electron absorbed the energy and when it was present at the K shell, when it absorbs energy, it will go to the L shell, M shell and N shell. It depends upon the value of energy that was absorbed by the electron which was present in the K shell. In the opposite, we can say that the electron will move from a higher stationary state to a lower stationary state when energy is emitted by the electron. So it is clear that when the electron is present at the higher energy shell like N shell, M shell, and when it emits the energy or frequency, it will go to the lower energy shell like L shell or M shell. It depends upon the how much energy it will emitted to go at the lower energy shells. So these are the two things which depends upon the absorption of energy and emission of energy. The frequency of radiation absorbed or emitted when transition occurs between two stationary states that differ in energy by delta E. So delta E is the energy difference or the energy gap between the two shells, E1 and E2. E1 is the lower value energy shell and E2 is the higher valued energy shell. So this is the Bohr frequency rule which uses the Planck's quantization concept, that is the energy frequency relationship, that and the value of H is the Planck's constant. H is the Planck's constant. Its value is 6.626 into 10 to the power minus 34 joules into seconds. Here N1 is the energy of lower allowed energy state and E2 is the energy of the higher allowed energy state. So by using Bohr's frequency rule, we can easily calculate the frequency for the emitted or absorbed radiation during the transition. In a given stationary state, the angular momentum of an electron is quantized. So this is one of the main postulate of the Niels Bohr of his theory for the hydrogen atomic model or hydrogen spectrum. So this is the MEVR equal to NH upon 2 pi. Here M is the mass of the electron, V is its velocity in that shell, and R is the radius of the orbit in which electron is moving. And the value of N, that is the principal quantum number, its value is 1, 2, 3 and so on. So these integral numbers are known as principal quantum numbers. As I told that small n is the principal quantum number. So Bohr's radius, what is Bohr's radius? That is also called the Bohr orbit. It is the radius of the first stationary state and its value is 0.529 angstrom. That was calculated by this formula, and this expression is given here where the radius of the atom is equal to the n square h square upon 4 pi square small m z e square. For the hydrogen atom, its atomic number, that is z value, is 1 for the first orbit, because one electron is present in the atomic structure of the hydrogen, and that is present in only one shell. That's principal quantum number is 1. So small n value is 1 and z value is also 1 for hydrogen atom. So you can calculate the value of the Bohr radius, that is R naught equal to, if put the value of small n and z is 1, you can get the expression h square upon 4 pi square me square, that is finally you get 0.529 angstrom. That is called the Bohr radius. So by putting this value, you will get finally Rn, that is the radius of the nth shell, that is equal to small n square into R naught. So it depends only on the principal quantum number or the electron present in the higher energy shell, and it also depends upon the value of Z, which depends upon the type of atom. For hydrogen it is 1, for helium it is 2, for sodium it is 11. So this value depends upon the position of the atom in the periodic table and its atomic number. Now the energy of the stationary state, that is given by these expressions. For the nth shell, its energy value can be calculated by the first expression, that is minus 2 pi square mz square small e square upon n square h square. That is, we can say that the energy of the shell is proportional to its atomic number, square of its atomic number, and it's inversely proportional to the square of its principal quantum number. So as the value of the principal quantum number increases, the energy value of this shell decreases. And in terms of joules, you can easily calculate the value of energy, and in terms of electrovolt per atom, its value is minus 13.6 upon n square electrovolt per atom. So the energy is taken as 0 for the infinite shell if the principal quantum number n value is infinite. So you can calculate the E infinity, that is the infinite shell energy, that is also 0, because n square, that means infinite square, that is also infinite, and if you divide something by infinite, that you will get the 0. So when the electron is moving from the influence of the nucleus, means that n value will be infinite. Velocity of the electron moving in orbits is given by, so this is the expression for calculate the velocity of the electron in that nth shell. So this is the expression, and it also depends upon the atomic number and the position of the electron in the shell. That means its principal quantum number. Now what are the limitations of the Bohr's model? There are 3 main limitations. This model is not able to explain the spectrum of atoms other than hydrogen. So this model is only applicable for the hydrogen atom, and if you use another element, another element, this model is failed to explain its spectrum. Bohr's theory was also unable to explain the splitting of spectral lines in the presence of magnetic field. So the spectral lines splitted in presence of magnetic field, that is called the Zeeman effect, or in case of the electrical field. If the magnetic field is absent, then it will not there will be no Zeeman effect, but in case of in presence of electric field, a stark effect will appear, or spectral lines are also splitted in case of the electric field, that is called the Stark effect. So Bohr theory was not explained is not able to explain the splitting of spectral lines in the presence of Zeeman effect or Stark effect. Third main drawback of this model is that this model could not explain the ability of atoms to form molecules by chemical bonds. How the molecules are formed by the combination of atomic orbitals and by the combination of two different atoms of two different elements, how they are formed, what type of compound will form, and what type of bonding will be there between these two atoms or elements. It depends upon how which factors. So this model is not able to explain. So these are the main limitations of the Bohr's model. So please subscribe this channel for more videos. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. Thank you very much.